Well, there's nothing quite like the feeling of being away from home for work and the wife rings you up and says the car's stuffed. Well, more specifically, I think her exact terms was the gearbox is fucked. Well, turns out it's some clutch issues at the moment, so there's just basically no clutch pedal. It's push your foot on the clutch, there's just nothing there, so got to dig into that a little bit. Now this is a 2010 Mitsubishi Outlander. It's a ZH model. I've got repair manuals for this, but they don't cover any manual transmission. So I've reached out to my friends at eManual Online and said, hey, have you got any manuals that cover a manual transmission? The best I can come up with is a 2008 model. So if you have a Mitsubishi Outlander and you need a repair manual, and specifically details for the manual transmission, you'll need a 2008. If just on a side note as well, I do have personal contacts with these guys as well, so if you do have any issues with manuals for any vehicles at all, either reach out to those guys or just shoot a message in the comments below and I'll be happy to pass on a message for you. So yeah, anyway, my main concern was, is there anything that I can do to adjust the clutch up? Looking at the repair manuals, the answer to that is no. Well, at least that's what it says in the manual. The best I can come up with is there's either somehow there's some air in the system. It runs off the same reservoir as the brake. So my first response there was, let's check out the brake fluid level, because that's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. If it's low, it obviously means something's been leaking and it's gone to a point where we've sucked in air when we're actuating the brake. It's smack bang right in between max and min, so I'm pretty confident to rule out leaks at this stage. We'll have a bit more of a look. What that would then lead on to is there's either somehow we've gotten some air into the hydraulic system for the clutch. So my first point of call is I'm just going to bleed that and see what happens. If that doesn't work, there could be a problem with the master cylinder or with the slave cylinder in the clutch. So yeah, I don't know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm going to bleed this and yeah, we'll see what happens. Now I have previously done a video on this clutch, pretty sure when I've done my brake, but right smack bang there, this is probably just going to be a bit hard to see with the light there, but so right down there, that's where the clutch bleeder lives. So it's really hard to spot it out. So you can do this bleeding either in a couple of ways. You can have an assistant on the clutch pedal, put their foot down on the clutch and crack open the bleeder. Now to crack open the bleeder, you will need a 14mm open end spanner. Now because of the limited room, this is one I've cut down earlier, so it just helps get in with that access. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to do a vacuum bleed on this first. Now while we're bleeding it, got to make sure that brake fluid level stays between the min and the max the whole time. Hopefully we'll see what happens, see if I get any air out and go from there. I know last time when I did do the brakes and change all this fluid over, I did have a hell of a time re-bleeding this clutch with the vacuum, so I may need, I'm guessing if I don't have any luck bleeding now, I'll probably need an assistant just to press that clutch pedal down for me while I do all the manipulation of the bleeder. So anyway, I'm going to get onto that. It's a bastard thing to try and film, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do the bleeding procedure and we'll see what result we come up with. Right, so state of the plane at the moment is, unfortunately, clutch is not bleeding up. Was doing it as a vacuum bleed with my vacuum bleeder and it made no difference. Got an assistant to press the clutch pedal. When they had the clutch pedal depressed, open up the bleeder, shut it. Now in that process when we're doing that, it's just pushing a lot of air out all the time. I can't get rid of it. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but look, there's either one or two things going on here. It's either a master cylinder issue or the slave cylinder in the clutch issue. Slave cylinder in the clutch is going to be a gearbox off the engine to check it out. So what I might do in the morning, I might see what I can do about organising another master cylinder and might go from there, see what happens. That's probably going to be the least intrusive way to go, and since I'm pushing a lot of air out when I've got an assistant doing the clutch pedal, I'm kind of thinking we may be sucking in air at that point when it's coming out. I mean, I can definitely see it sucking fluid down, but it's getting air in it constantly, which is not right. So yeah, I'm going to see what I can do for finding a replacement master, and we'll go from there. So yeah, once I get some parts, we'll get stuck into that. Alright, so it's a day later. I've got another master cylinder from the auto store. So, comes with the little hose from the brake fluid reservoir, and yeah, it's just a plastic piece of crap really. Anyway, let's get it in. The end of this clutch rod is just a little ball and socket. I can't see any clip on there that holds it in, so it looks like it just pushes straight off the ball on the clutch pedal. The rest of it is just a twist to remove. Seems really simple. Like I said, we've just got a metal clip on the end here for the fluid outlet, so it should be a pretty simple job to change over. Obviously, getting under here is not the easiest. Even harder to throw a camera in and film it, but I'm just going to use a flat blade screwdriver just to try and pop that shaft off the ball. And of course, it's right on the inside, so not the easiest side to reach. That pops off real easy. Now the rest of the work's in the engine bay. So the brake fluid reservoir, your clutch takes off that there, so we're obviously going to need to disconnect that hose and just this little section here, so it's just a little clip here that we can come out, and like I said, hopefully that thing just twists and comes out. So this little clip on the end of this master cylinder, I'm just going to use a combination of a flat blade screwdriver just to get in there, and just my long my long nose pliers, and that just pulls straight out. And I'm just going to throw a container under there to hopefully catch some brake fluid, and it's too big. So that's kind of typical, isn't it? Now, interesting here, there is no ring just on the end, so that's looking okay. Because that definitely could be a source of sucking air in. If I still get some air in, I'm going to pop that out again, and I'm going to put a new O-ring on that. But the rest of it, just be a matter of releasing that. Now I'm going to find something that I can block up that, so I'm not going to spill all my oil, my fluid everywhere. Now for my pliers with the little kink on the end of them, just to get around on the inside of this clip. There we go. Now, and I'm just going to cap that off just to stop losing so much brake fluid out there. Now this should just be a matter of twisting off. Now looking from the end here, it should just be a clockwise twist, and that should come out. In theory, if I can get, there we go, and that's out. And replacement, straight back in. There you go. And I'll just pull off that cap and hose back onto the brake fluid reservoir. Now we have a brand new clip to go in there as well, so put the original pipe back in, seat it all the way home, and that clip can just slide straight back in place. Does need a little bit of force with the pliers, I think, to get it back home. There we go. I just need to go put that ball back on the clutch pedal and we're good to rebleed it again. So yeah, let's see how we go. Well, unfortunately I cannot get that clutch to bleed back up again, so there's just no pedal feel at all. So unfortunately I'm going to have to just do a bit of a rethink and see where we go, but it's a simple system. There's the master cylinder with a simple fluid line to a slave cylinder in the gearbox, just in front of the clutch. There's nothing leaking. Yeah, I don't know, apart from taking off the bleeder and maybe throwing some new O-rings on that, I can't see what else is going to change there, to be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be a drop the gearbox job out and new clutch, all that. So yeah, I'm going to go have a think about what I'm going to do, and yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you just want to know how to change the master cylinder, then yeah, there you go. But unfortunately, it looks like I've got more work to do. So thanks very much for watching. Probably maybe a gearbox removal over here. Anyway, thanks very much for my channel members. You know, you guys get early access to all my content, so you get to see what's going on first. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff. If you don't want to do any of that, but you do want to help the channel out, there's always a super thanks. You just drop a few bucks my way. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you later.